Jadeyraereads, welcome back to Reader's Retreat. If you're new here, my name's Victoria and this is the second edition of Dice and Easy, my TBR game to decide what I read in the month of August. I'm really excited for this month because there's a readathon happening that I am really excited to take part in, hosted by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin, and obviously there's also the book club reads for both Jade and Steph as well that I really could do with getting on my TBR. So without further ado, let's recap on July. I will just take whatever I haven't read as punishment and add them to this month's TBR before we even get started with the rolls. So to start off, I want to go through the books that will be punishment for this month as a result of not finishing them last month. The readathon that I mentioned at the beginning was the Frostheartalong hosted by Gavin. Frostheart 3 hasn't yet been released, so these two were on last month's TBR, so it is kind of a punishment to get to them this month, but also not because they're part of a readathon, so I don't quite know yet if I'm counting them as punishment, but I've got to read them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into these because Gavin absolutely adores them and I'm just really excited. I didn't need to know any more to want to pick them up, and then Frostheartalong came along, so it's even better and I'm really excited. So they're on my TBR this month. Next up on the punishment TBR is Miss Austen by Jill Hornby. I was really eager to get to this one last month, but I just didn't have the time. I had some pretty chunky books that I decided to try and get myself through. Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss being one of them, which was Jade's buddy read for July. And I did finish it, so I was really pleased with that. But yeah, there were quite a few chunky ones on there that I needed to get through more than these ones that aren't too long. So Miss Austen is on my punishment TBR. I managed to finish Vicious, but didn't manage to get to Vengeful. So Vengeful is on the punishment TBR. Vengeful obviously being the second of the Villains duology written by V. Schwab. Vicious was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was a really high 4-star. Almost a 5, but not quite. So yeah, I'm really eager to get to Vengeful and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this duology goes. Again though, quite chunky. And I actually did myself a disservice last month by saying that I had 7 Harry Potter books to read. I didn't. I'd already read the first 3. So when I said Harry Potter last month, I picked up The Goblet of Fire because that was the next one that I was at in my annual reread. So I did myself a disservice there, saying I had more books than I actually did to read. Having said that, I have read 3 more last month. So I read Goblet of Fire, I read Order of the Phoenix, and I read Half-Blood Prince. I can speed through Harry Potter like nobody's business now. I've read it so many times, but each time I just love it all the more. So I have the one remaining Harry Potter book on my punishment TBR, which is of course The Deathly Hallows. Again, I'm pretty gutted that I didn't get a chance to get to this. The Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I've talked about this a heck of a lot in my videos so far. I'm really eager to read this. It's not very long really and it just sounds right up my street, but yeah, I didn't manage to get to it last month unfortunately, so it's on the punishment TBR. Another chunky one I didn't manage to get to, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I am again quite eager to get to this because this is an adult by Leigh Bardugo and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So again, yeah, I'm really eager to get to it. Finally, another duology that I didn't get to, King of Scars. King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. These are part of the Grishaverse. This is Nikolai's story. Again, pretty eager to get to these because I do love the Grishaverse. I really, really did enjoy the Shadow and Bone series and the Six of Crows duology. So I'm really looking forward to these, to be honest with you, and I think they'll probably be the first things that I pick up in August, to get them out of the way in a way, and also to find out a little bit more about Nikolai as well. So, and they are pretty chunky, to be fair, so it's going to take a while, I suppose. So that's it for punishments. Oh no, and there's also The Martian, which was Gavin's book club read for last month. Hopefully that will have to be the first one that I pick up, actually. It's not a long one. I've got the audio, so I should be able to shoot through that pretty quickly. So all in all, with The Martian, we have 10 books before we even get into the rolls for August. So yeah, that's fun already. First up then for August's TBR list, I've gone for Zenith by Sasha Ellsberg and Lindsay Cummings. This one, again, I've heard pretty good things about, and I'm quite excited to pick it up because it's a sci-fi. I probably should have picked it up for Sci-Fi July, actually. Having said that, I finished my TBR for Sci-Fi July, which was brilliant, because I completed the Scythe trilogy, I completed the Arrow and the Handmaid's Tale graphic novels, which was great. So Sci-Fi July was a success. This one I've heard pretty good things about, to be honest with you, and it was actually a book that Jade sent to me because she was unhauling it, not because she didn't like it, but because she needed the space on her shelves. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's a genre that I'm not really very much of a reader of, which I want to improve on, so being sci-fi. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to this one, if it ends up on the TBR. Next, we have another little duology by Amanda Lovelace, which are obviously poetry collections, To Drink Coffee with a Ghost and To Make Monsters Out of Girls. These are tiny poetry collections, so I thought I'd stick them on the list to kind of shrink down the size of the books that I have to pick up. Obviously, if this gets rolled, I have to read them both, but as I've said, they're tiny, so I should be able to sit through both of them together quite easily and knock them out pretty quickly. So yeah, these are really, really cute, actually, and I'm quite looking forward to picking up some more Amanda Lovelace because I loved the trilogy of books that I read from her in Whatever-a-thon. So yeah, really excited for these two. Next, one that I'd not heard much about, to be honest with you, but I picked up because that cover is just gorgeous. It's called A Clock of Stars, The Shadow Moth by Francesca Gibbons. Don't know anything about it, but it's gorgeous. It's a chunky one, but yeah, I'm really eager to read it because it just looks fantastic, and the blurb is pretty good, to be honest with you. Imogen and Marie follow a silver moth through a door in a tree and find themselves trapped in a magical kingdom where no one behaves as they should. The sisters must move fast to escape the strange monsters that come out of the dark. Longing to return home, they find help from a spoiled prince, a dancing bear, and even the stars above. just sounds like great fun. Yes, it's chunky, but it sounds like great fun, so it should be a pretty quick read as well. I've gone for a lot of standalones in this list, as you probably might expect after the amount of series that I put on July's as my debut TBR game. But yeah, next up is Escape the Rooms by Stephen Mangan. Again, I didn't know much about this one. I didn't even know Stephen Mangan wrote books, but that cover is just awesome and it sounded really cute. So take a deep breath and dive straight into The Rooms. The last thing Jack expected when he bungee jumped at a fairground was to plummet into a maze of underground rooms full of traps, puzzles, and some weird and wonderful people. Alongside a mysterious girl called Callie, he must find the keys to unlock each room and find his way home, facing hundreds of tiny yet ferocious lions and revolting game of Would You Rather and some mind-blowing riddles along the way. A dazzling, laugh-out-loud, helter-skelter adventure to ignite the imagination. So it just sounds like an absolute hoot, and Stephen Mangan is a brilliant comedian, and I'm expecting great things from this, and it's not too long really either, so yeah, that had to go on this month. Next, we have Blackout. This is a collection of stories written by Ashley Woodfolk, Angie Thomas, Nicola Yoon, Donnie L. Clayton, Nick Stone, and Tiffany D. Jackson, to name but a few. And yeah, as I say, it's a collection of short stories. Beautiful edition with black sprayed edges. You can't see them very well. There you go. Black sprayed edges. And it's really quite short. So, being short stories, I should be able to scoot through them pretty quickly. So, yeah, that was a pretty cool addition to this month's list. This one you might have seen before on Jade's birthday unboxing, because I sent it to her as a gift. Obviously a brand new version. This is a pre-loved version. But this is Magic Keepers, The Eternal Hourglass, Book 1 by Erica Kirov. Again, I don't know much about this, but it's an adorable, really tiny book. And the blurb says, "The one and only Harry Houdini was killed for it. The most powerful magicians have battled for centuries to retrieve it, and even the ancient pharaohs feared its power. What would you do for an hourglass that stopped time?" So, yeah, sounds like great fun. And it's got a beautiful cover again. Look at that white tiger on the front of there. Just gorgeous. So, yeah, really want to read this one, so it had to be on this month's book list. This one I have to get to in this month. Probably should put it on a compulsory read, but hopefully I'll be able to get it in as one of my roles. The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkowski. I want to read this one because Jade has announced her mini Polarthon Meltdown readathon, a 36-hour readathon where we have to beat the clock and save ourselves from the meltdown, global warming, effectively. And this is a stunning edition with beautiful sprayed edges, and this one will fit the prompt of ice because it's set in a frozen land. So basically this follows 16-year-old Valeria is one of the only survivors of the freeze, a dark magical hold not mountain unleashed on her village. Everyone, including her family, is trapped in an unbreakable sheet of ice ever since she has been on the run from the Tsar, who is determined to imprison everyone who managed to escape. Valeria finds refuge with the Thieves Guild, doing odd jobs with her best friend Alec, the only piece of home she has left. That is, until he is brutally murdered. A year later, she discovers Alec is alive and being held against his will. To buy his freedom, she must lead a group of cutthroats and thieves on a perilous expedition to the very mountain that claimed her family. Only something sinister slumbers in the heart of Nott, and it has waited years for release. Inspired by Russian folklore, Jessica Rubinkowski's epic fantasy debut is a thrilling page-turner with romance, tragedy, magic and monsters that will stay with you to the very end. I think I've probably mentioned this book in previous videos, but yeah, I definitely need this one on my list, not only to knock a book off the list and one of my roles, but to also kill a prompt on Jade's Meltdown readathon. So I am hoping to finish more than one book, but being 36 hours and over a weekend, I have to work, so my goal is to complete this one. So if it hasn't come up by the end of the rolls, it will be on the list as a compulsory read anyway. So next we have another Amanda Lovelace duology, Shine Your Icy Crown and Break Your Glass Slippers. This is the Find Your Own Fairy Tale duology by Amanda Lovelace. It's, again, really short, beautiful poetry collections, which again I should be able to knock out in one sitting with both of them together. So they have to be on the list because it'll make my life a heck of a lot easier if they end up on there because they're so short. So yeah, I am really excited to read some more Amanda Lovelace, as I've said with the other collection earlier on. But yeah, these ones do really intrigue me, so I'm really excited and I hope they get on the list. Next, a graphic novel. I'm cheating a little bit now because they're tiny, but it will save me a heck of a lot of trouble. This is We Live Extinction Day Volume 1. This sounds like an absolute hoot. The year is 2084. The world has changed. Racked by calamities and crawling with monsters, the last remaining humans face a dangerous existence. And now the Earth has been sent a message from the deepest reaches of space. A dark countdown to the extinction of all humanity. But there is hope. 5,000 children will be rescued by these mysterious message senders to live a new life in the stars. This is the journey of Hototo, one of the lucky 5,000, but only if his teenage sister, Tala, can safely deliver him to the nearest beacon before time runs out. We Live is a world of violence and beauty, a unique tale of the apocalypse as told by Inaki Miranda that invites both dread and hope. And it just looks absolutely stunning. I mean, look at the picture on the back as well. Just gorgeous. Those monsters remind me of something out of Fantastic Beasts. But then they would because I'm a Harry Potter fan. So yeah, it just looks stunning. And the artwork in here, because I have had a quick glance. I haven't done any reading, obviously, but I have had a quick glance. Just look. It's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, that's on the list. Hopefully it'll end up on there to make it nice and easy. Another one, a recommendation by Jade and Steph. The both of them have read this and loved it, which is Low, A Delirium of Hope, Volume 1. Again, absolutely beautiful. In the far distant future, the sun's premature expansion has irradiated Earth, sending humanity to the lowest depths of the seas. Hidden within radiation-shielded cities, while probes scour the universe for inhabitable worlds. After tens of thousands of years, a single probe returns, crashing on Earth's surface, a now alien place no human has seen for millennia. Now, Stell Kane and her husband Joel, the last helmsman of the once great city of Salus, must rise from the depths of mankind's despair and journey to the surface in search of salvation. So another sci-fi, but sounds like absolute great fun, so had to go on the list for this month. Now I'm moving in to some non-fiction that I wanted to add on to this month's list. Fake Law by The Secret Barrister. I absolutely love The Secret Barrister. His first book, which was called Stories of the Law and How It's Broken, was absolutely amazing. And I'm into that kind of non-fiction anyway. The law just kind of fascinates me. So I love to watch things like courtroom dramas, Law and Order, both the American and the UK versions. So yeah, I'm really excited. I have actually read this already when it was first released, so this would be a reread, but a great reread because I really, really enjoyed it first time round, and I'll be interested to see if I find out anything new from it. So on another reread. So yeah, I'm really hoping this one gets up on the list because it should be really, really interesting to reread. Now I'm moving into Toksvig's Almanac. Sandy Toksvig is an awesome writer. I've read some from her that have been absolutely hilarious, but also really insightful. And this one obviously is just basically about neglected corners of history. It says on the back here, let Sandy Toksvig guide you on an eclectic meander through the calendar, illuminating neglected corners of history to tell tales of the fascinating figures you didn't learn about in school. From a pope who gave birth during a papal procession, to the inventor of Scrabble, to pioneering civil rights activist Ida B. Wells, who refused to give up her seat on a train decades before Rosa Parks was born. As witty and entertaining as it is instructive, this is an essential companion to each day of the year. So I'm really intrigued by this, not only because it's written by Sandy Toksvig, but also because that sort of thing really does intrigue me, and I've always been interested in hearing about culture and our history. So yeah, I'm really, really intrigued by this one, so hopefully it'll end up on the list. I want to read pretty much all of these, and who knows, it might end up like last month and I'll have to read them all, but we don't know yet. But yeah, a lot of these I'm really looking forward to. Last up in the non-fiction, oh no, tell a lie, second to last, is Tom Hanks's Unwritten Type. This is the first of Tom Hanks's books that I've picked up to read. He is a phenomenal actor. I absolutely adore him, and his voice is just gorgeous, absolutely delicious, and I cannot wait to devour this because I've bought the audiobook. I bought that when I bought this, and yeah, I can't wait to devour this at whatever point I do. It's going to be an amazing read, I just know it. So yeah, I'm really excited, and hopefully it'll be this month that I get to pick it up. finally, on the non-fiction side of things, we've got Terry Pratchett, A Blink of the Screen. I haven't read any of Discworld, so you're probably thinking, why are you picking up a book about Terry Pratchett if you've never read anything he's written? Well, he's just a man that intrigues me. I've heard incredible things about Discworld. So many of my friends and even my teachers at school absolutely adore Terry Pratchett's writing. So I'm really intrigued to find out more about the man before I actually dive into his writing. So yeah, I wanted to pick this one up because it's a really, really cool cover as well. I mean, look. Apparently the illustration there is part of the Discworld illustrations that you may have seen before. And there's another one on the back there, which is really cool as well. So I'm really excited, and hopefully I'll get to pick it up. We're on the last couple now. We've got Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. This is a sci-fi that I've heard really good things about. So apparently it's a space opera, which really intrigues me actually. And this is a gorgeous edition. I mean, look at that colour for the sprayed edges, beautiful. And it just sounds like a really, really good read. So yeah, I'm excited for this one if it ends up on the list. Another one that I'm really excited about is The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. Garth Nix is another author that I've not read from before, but this sounds like something right up my alley because it sounds really whimsical, it sounds really exciting, and just something that I'm really, really going to love getting my teeth into. And again, it's stunning, a Waterstones exclusive edition with exclusive bonus content apparently. So again, I'm really excited, as I am for all of these, always, otherwise they wouldn't be on the list. And finally, this is in no particular order anyway, but finally, Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This one is partly non-fiction in the respect that it looks at the history of Shakespeare and his son, but it's a fictional story surrounding that, really. That's what she pulled on for this story, and it's again a Waterstones exclusive edition, which is beautiful. Doesn't have sprayed edges though, but yeah, absolutely stunning cover, which drew me in immediately. Just looked gorgeous, and the fact that it's something to do with Shakespeare, whether it be fiction or non-fiction, meant I had to read it. So that's what's on the list. Without further ado, let's get into the rolls. So, beautiful dice from the Fairy Loot TBR game. As always, first roll is to determine how many of those 20 books will end up on my TBR. But again, it's not 20, is it? Because there's duologies and stuff in there, so yay for me. But here we go. So, as I said before, I've already got 10 books on this TBR as punishment for last month. So this is the number on top of those 10. So, yay. Oh, I should just say, there are also 3 more that are on the list for this month. Steph's bi-monthly buddy read, which is the 5th season. I'll leave a picture of it up here because I don't own a copy of it. It's on my Kindle. And also a buddy read for Jade for August, which hasn't been decided yet, so I can't say what it's going to be, but if I find out before this goes up, I will leave it up here. If not, I will pop it in the description once we know, so keep an eye out for those. And then finally there will be a book club read for Gavin's patrons as well. So let's find out how many books I'm going to be reading. 9. It's a single digit. Woohoo! Okay, that excites me because I've now got 19, which is perfectly feasible considering that I read 22 last month. So, yes. So good. Okay, so roll number 1. 16. Number 16 is Hamnet. It would be the bottom of the pile, wouldn't it? Thank God for editing. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell is book number 1. Or 11. However you want to look at it. Roll number 2 of 9 is book number 2, which is Coffee with a Ghost, which also means that I will be reading To Make Monsters Out of Girls as well. So this is the first duology on the list for Amanda Lovelace and her poetry collections. So this is books 2 and 3 from roll number 2, or books 12 and 13 on August TBR. Next, roll number 3, 18, which is the 5th season. So Steph's bi-monthly Patreon read, the 5th season, I'll leave a picture of it up here, will be on my TBR list. So that knocks that out and knocks a book out as well. So yay for me. Roll number 4. 20, which is Gavin's book club read. Yes, another one. But that's another compulsory read on my TBR, which is great. So yay. Roll number 5. 12, which is Sandy Toksvig's Almanac for 2021 is here. Sandy Toksvig's Almanac, an eclectic meander through the historical year. Really excited for this one. Roll number 6 is 20 again, which means it adds another roll because I can't put the same book on twice. So we're now at 10 rolls. Roll number 7. 16, which is Hamnet. So that's 11 rolls. Because I can't put Hamnet on again. Oh my God, right. Roll number 8. 4. Thank God for that. Escape the Rooms. Escape the Rooms by Stephen Mangan. Yes. So cute. So short. Roll number 9, which should have been the final roll, but now we have an extra 2. So, roll number 9 is 16 again. You've got to be kidding me. So that's 12 rolls now. Roll number 10. Please be nice. Number 6. Yes. So, Magic Keepers. Magic Keepers. Another short one and an adorable tiny book. Oh, thank God for that. Okay. Roll number... I haven't got enough fingers to do it, but it's roll number 11. Number 5. Yes. Blackout. Blackout, the collection of short stories, romance short stories, but gorgeous edition. So I'm trying to expand my horizons, reading more romance. So there we go. Okay, roll number 12. Final roll. Please don't be a duplicate, please. Number 1. Zenith. Yes! Not another duplicate. Okay. Zenith. Oh my god, I'm so excited now. And I'm actually also going to add another one because, like I say, The Bright and the Pale, I'm going to be reading for Jade's Polarthon Meltdown. So that is also on my TBR, but that's an added read. It's not part of the rolls. Seems pretty feasible. None of the graphic novels made it on, unfortunately, but there are some pretty short ones in there, so I should hopefully be able to get through those. There's some poetry collections and short story collections as well. Pretty doable. With the new books that I'm adding anyway. How we'll get on with the punishment ones, I do not know yet. I will try and get through those first before I tackle any of August's rolls, but who knows what's going to happen. One of the rules in the beginning was the order that they're picked is the order that I read them, but I'm scrapping that. My game, my rules. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. So if I can get these ones hammered out, then I'm on track for a decent month in September. So yeah, I'm quite excited by a lot of these actually. Especially the poetry collections, to be honest. Amanda Lovelace's stuff is so good. Quite hard hitting. So if you do want to pick them up, please, please, please do check out Own Voices reviews and also the trigger list as well, because there's always a pretty long list of stuff that she touches on in her poetry. So please do check those out before you pick them up. But yeah, I'm really excited to pick these ones up as well. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a pretty good month, and I am pretty positive in my attitude towards it. That's it for Dose and Easy August TBR. It was pretty kind to me. There are some on there that I would have really loved to have got to, but no doubt they'll end up on September's list because I didn't get to read them this month. So we shall see them again, most likely. And I will leave it there. So thank you very much for watching. As always, if you've read any of these books on this list, whether it be the punishment list or the new list for August with the rolls, please do let me know down below in the comments. If you think I should prioritise any of them, then do that also, because it'll help me sort out the order that I'm going to read them in. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. As always, I will leave links to my socials down below. So come find me, let's be friends, let's chat, and I'll also leave links to the booktubers that I've mentioned, Steph, Gavin and Jade, who I frequently mention. But their links will be in the description box as always as well. So I will see you next month for another Dose and Easy. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help out. And I will see you again soon in another video. Bye. Editing Victoria here. I haven't added Jade's buddy read. So yeah, fingers crossed I can get it done. Editing Victoria here again. So for Gav's Patreon read, which was one of the rolls, the book is actually Ace of Spades. I will put a picture of the cover on here so that you can see it. It's a spooky one, I believe. It's a thriller, one that I've heard really good things about, and Gav seems to be excited, so I'll be really excited to get into that one as well.